I'm really excited about this next question that we're going to work on because the technique that we're going to use to solve it is directly applicable to many other string-related questions. So in this one question, Max Char, that we're going to work on, let's open up the index.js file for it. The technique that we're going to use to solve this can be used to solve many other string-related questions as well. And I'll give you a list of some of the other ones that are very closely related in just a second. First, let's make sure that we start up our tests for this problem. So at my terminal, I think you know what to do by now. We'll run just max char test.js -- watch, like so. And I think that made a little, it's not max chars, it's just max char, my mistake, like so. We should see at least 3 tests running. Okay, so let's look at this problem in good detail and we'll talk about the technique that we're going to use to solve it. So given a string, we're going to return the character that is used the most inside that string. For example, if we pass in a string of A, B, C, 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 well, clearly C is used most frequently inside of here, so we should return C. Likewise, if we pass in apple and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, yeah, these are numbers, but they are inside of a string, so they're still considered to be characters as far as we are concerned. And so clearly the most used character inside of here is 1. So we should return the character or the string 1, not the number. So no concern about numbers here in particular. We're just saying unique characters inside of a string. Okay, so let's talk about the trick that we're going to use to solve this problem and many others like it. So first, I want to show you some other common variations of this question. So if you ever see questions like this on the screen right here, you want to be thinking about using this exact same technique. And honestly, I was going to put some of these other questions into this course, but we would have just been using the same technique again and again and again, which would have been kind of annoying for you. So I figured we would just do this one problem and have a good grasp on how to do it. So if you ever see questions like the most common character on a string, if you see something like, does one string have the same characters in the same quantity as another string? That's what we refer to as an anagram, by the way. Or if you ever see the question, does a given string have any repeated characters in it? So anything like this, anything around counting the number of characters or comparing the number of characters between 2 strings, you can always use this technique. So let's talk about what it is. Here's what we're going to do. For all these different problems that are related to counting or verifying the number of characters in a string, we are going to take our string and we're going to essentially convert it into an object, where the keys of the object are the characters from the string, and the values are the number of times that that character has been found. So for example, we could take the string hello there. Notice how hello there has 1 H, it has 3 E's, here's 1E, 2E, and 3E, and it has 2 L's. So with that in mind, let's look at the resulting object that we would build up. So inside of our object, we would have one capital H and would have a value of 1 because that character, specifically capital H, was found in our string exactly 1 time. There are 3 E's present and they're each lowercase. So we would add a key of E and assign it a value of 3 because E has been found 3 times. Finally, for L, there's clearly 2 L's here. So we would put L in as a key and then assign it a value of 2. And then we would repeat the process for the rest of the string as well. So when you have this kind of map right here, it makes many different types of questions very straightforward. For example, if I asked you what is the most common character in the string, which is pretty much what we are trying to do right now, well, now that we have this object, we could walk through the object, find the value that has the highest find the property with the highest number assigned to it, which in this case would have been 3, and we would immediately know, okay, it looks like E is the most frequently used character. If someone ever asks you, does string A and string B have the same characters at the same frequency? Well, we could build up an object that looks like this for both string A and string B, and then compare the two, and make sure that both objects have the same number of properties inside of it and the same values. Finally, does the string have any repeated characters? So in other words, are there any duplicate characters in the string? Well, this one's probably easiest overall. If there's any value inside of this object with a value greater than 1, yeah, that means that we found, say, L twice or E 3 times, which means if someone asked me, does that string have any repeated characters, I would say yes, it definitely does in this particular case. So setting up an object like this is clearly a really strong tool for solving any type of question around producing some count or verification or validation of a word. So with that in mind, let's continue in the next section, and I'm going to give you a quick overview on how we would put together an object like this. So quick break, and we'll tackle this thing in the next section.